Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. I am Neva, this is Reading with Neva, and today we're going to do a little bit of a different video. We're doing Kindle Wednesday videos. So on Wednesdays I will be talking about Kindle centric things, and this week we're going to be talking about collections. People are really interested in why my collections are the way that they are. I've shown how on my channel in the past how to set up collections, and I've gotten a lot of questions as to why my collections are set up in the way that they are. So today we're going to talk about not only what is on my Kindle currently, but also why my collections are set up the way they are. So I'm going to put the camera down so that you can see my iPad, because that's the easiest way for me to do this. I could have also done it from my phone, but I thought that the bigger screen of the iPad would be helpful, and I'm going to zoom in as close to the iPad as I possibly can so that you can see what I'm doing, and we'll talk about the different books. Now, I'm not going to go through every single book that is on my Kindle because I have over 1,000, but I will talk about each of the collections as we go. All right, so this is my Kindle app. This is completely open with all of the collections open. Hopefully you can see everything, but I have arranged my collections in here by title because I figure that's the easiest. Now you can click this little they're little like arrows, up and down arrows if you want to, and you can sort them by the most recent one you've opened, title, author, or publication date. Actually, you can't do author or publication date for this, but you can sort them by recent, so those would be the most recent ones that you opened, and title. I have them on my iPad app sorted by title. On my actual Kindle device, I have them sorted by most recent, but that is just because I read on my Kindle and I don't use my actual iPad or my phone for reading, so they can be sorted by the actual title. So we're going to go through what all of my collections are, why they are the way that they are, and then we will go through some of the ones that I set up specifically for each month. So I have my arcs sorted by the year and the month. So these are all NetGalley arcs. So I have like a 2023 December arcs, 2023 November arcs, so on and so forth. These are all specifically NetGalley arcs. If I have other arcs in here, I have those sorted not by date, but by where I got the arc from. So I used to be part of an arc collective called Braze Reviews. I'm no longer part of that collective, but I do have 9 arcs from when I was part of it, and those are just sorted into a collection called Arcs Braze Reviews. I also have just a general NetGalley arcs catch-all spot, and then these get sorted into each of their months as I go. As you can see, a lot of these are red because when I first started doing collections, I just simply threw all of my NetGalley arcs into one thing. So a lot of these are red, like Hook, Line, and Sinker, The Couple Upstairs, Reckless Girls. Some of those are from years ago and they're red, which is why they say red at the top, and some of them have been sorted into their own collection. I then have my Amazon First Reads. If you have Amazon Prime, you also will be eligible for Amazon First Reads. These are books that they're basically finished arcs, like they're completed arcs, so you get them first before other people do. I don't know why there we go, it was not wanting to focus. So you have that if you want to be able to do Amazon First Reads. So any books that I got from there is what is in that collection. Then I do sort collections by project as well. So we have this one, which is an Ari Picks My Reads collection. These were books that Ari specifically picked for a vlog that I'm working on, so they are in their own collection. But mostly everything is sorted into collections by genre. So I have, where the genres start is with classics. So I have classics, contemporary, cozy. Now the cozy ones are anything that is a cozy book, but I couldn't necessarily fit it into a category. So I have all of my Finley Donovan books here that I own. And to me, these are like cozy thrillers. They're not really cozy mysteries. I do have a cozy mystery section, but these are cozy thrillers. And then I couldn't quite decide at the time that I put these into the cozy collection, cozy fantasy wasn't really a thing, and so I didn't really know where to put Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Fairies books. So I have those all in my cozy collection. We have Dark Academia, which I have nothing in right now. This is a delete folder, so these are things that I need to be deleted out that don't need to be here. I don't even know why this is still in here, but I do have a delete folder to let me know. I do have a DNF folder. These are any books that I've decided I'm not going to finish them. So Never was a DNF. Bad Tourist, which was an ARC, was a DNF. I skipped to the end so that I could write a review. And then My Clarity was also a DNF. So these are books that either I have purchased and DNF'd, or I don't necessarily want to get rid of them. I may try them again at some point, but for now they are a DNF, so they are in that folder. I have a dystopian folder. This is my fan fiction folder. I get fan fiction from Archive of Our Own. If you want a video on how I do that, I think I do it the long way. I'm going to be honest, because what I do is I go to Archive on Our Own, or of Our Own, from my phone. Well, I do it from my laptop, and then I find the stories that I want. I search for them on my phone, and then I send everything, like I send the file from my phone to my Kindle app. You can do it from a computer as well, but I don't do it that way. So these are all, I think all of these are Hermione fan fiction, which is Draco and Hermione. So that's the HP world. I really enjoy having fan fiction on my Kindle, so that's what that is. Then we have fantasy. So this is a pretty large collection. These are books that I have purchased. So I do Stuff Your Kindle days whenever they come up. However, you'll see later that each Stuff Your Kindle Day genre also has a folder. So these are specifically fantasy books that I have purchased at some point or another. Some of these are books that I've had for literal years. So, let me see. For instance, I know like Everblue, when I got it, was a free book on the Kindle app. Like it was on a free book on Amazon. But when I made these collections, anything that I had already owned before buying things, I threw into collections. So all of these are ones that I have actually purchased. Then we have this one is for a video where one of my brothers picks my reads, so that's another project collection. I have a historical fiction collection, which I don't have a lot in here. I have 3 books. I'm not a huge historical fiction girly. The Golden Hour I've had for literal years, and I know that that was bought for a book club, and then the other 2 I think were free books, but I could be wrong. Then we have a horror collection. Again, these are all books that either I already had on my Kindle when I went over to an actual Kindle in 2020, like a Kindle device in 2020. I already own them on the Kindle app, or they're ones that I've purchased since. We have another project collection, which I'm not going to make big because I don't want you to see what's in there, and then I clicked it by accident, but that is for another video project. I have my Kindle Unlimited collection. These books, so the Kindle Unlimited collection, sometimes I do purchase the books that I buy on Kindle Unlimited. Spark of the Everflame is a good example of that. So, or The Heat of Seas. So The Heat of Seas actually no longer belongs in this collection because I purchased that book. So I'm actually going to remove it from this collection, but I'm going to make sure that it is in the other collection that it's supposed to be in, which it's not, because it is a fantasy, unless I put it in romance. Okay, I put it in dark romance, so that's fine. It's also a fantasy book, but I'm going to take it out of the Kindle collection. So this is Kindle Unlimited books. These are specifically books that I have gotten from Kindle Unlimited. That's why they have the little bar underneath them. If they don't have the Kindle Unlimited bar, then either I have purchased them somewhere else, or I have them from the library. And I do have a Libby collection as well, but these ones are specifically the ones that I currently have checked out on Kindle Unlimited, and this just helps me to narrow down where my KU books are. KU books do not get sorted by genre. They just live in until I purchase them. They just live in this Kindle Unlimited collection. Then I have my LGBTQIA+ here. This Way Out was technically also an Amazon first read, so I'm going to add it to that collection as well. And then I ended up purchasing Love at First Set. Yes, I ended up purchasing Love at First Set because it was on sale, and I really enjoyed that book when I read it. I gave it 5 stars. Then we have my Libby collection. Now, on my Kindle app, it looks different than what it actually looks like on my Kindle device, because if you've never used Libby, or you don't live in America, so you can't send Libby books to your Kindle, you send the Libby books to your Kindle and then you have to return them. So on the actual Kindle app, that doesn't work. This is also a Kindle Unlimited book because I grabbed it on Kindle Unlimited and returned it to Libby. So we're going to take it out of Libby. They don't tend to disappear off of the app. So like a lot of these books, if you looked at my actual Kindle device, it does not, I don't have these books actually still checked out in my Libby collection. But in order to get rid of them, I would have to like go through and hit remove from library individually. And I just return them from my actual Kindle device. So that's the Libby. Then we have lock screens. So the lock screens, let me see if I can open one. So the lock screens are just these documents that I use on my actual Kindle device, because on your Kindle, if you don't have ads, you can make it so that you can see the cover of your book. So if I'm not reading a book, or I don't necessarily, or it's like a hot man cover, which I don't love just people seeing if I'm out and about, I will use these Kindle lock screens. There's like a way to get them onto your device. I could do a video on it. There's other tutorials on how to do it. I'm not necessarily the best at doing it, so I don't know that you would want a video from me, but basically if I click on one of these, it will open it up, and here it would be obviously in this orientation. So it's just a black screen with something on it. I did get customizable ones so I can put my name on it, and then when I lock my Kindle device, not my iPad, but when I lock my Kindle, then you would see Mood Reader, this Kindle belongs to Reading Winiva. That's all that is. Okay, so we'll go back to this way because I feel like this is an easier orientation to see everything. Okay, then we have lock screens. We have magazines. So back in the day, I mean, these are all from like 2016, 2013, 2012, like these are all very old, but back in the day I would get Cosmo to my Kindle device. I think you can still do this. Like I think you can still get magazines like to your Kindle, but I have like a subscription to Cosmopolitan. So every month I would, in OK and Glamour and a couple other ones, so every month I would get these magazines. I stopped doing that in like 2016, 2017. So these are all really old covers, but sometimes I like to look back at them. It's fun to like flip through them and look at the things that we cared about in those years. Then we have my mystery category. The only book I have in here is The Last Thing He Told Me. This is a true mystery book. I don't feel like it's a thriller. Then we have my nonfiction collection. So these are all different nonfiction books that I've purchased throughout the years. So we love to see it. I need to read more nonfiction. I actually need to go through this and add them to my nonfiction wheel, so maybe I can read some nonfiction next year. Then we have some parenting books. I've had these for literally years, since like my first kid was born. This is a read collection. Now I do this because I don't necessarily like all of the books that I have read. I don't know why these aren't checked as read. But I don't necessarily like all of my read books to stay in their collection. I like to see what I've read throughout the time. And so I went through, and any books that I've read go into this collection. Now, some of my read books also make it into another collection, which we'll get to in a little while, which is my Slump Busters collection. And this is just a collection of books that I enjoyed. Like I gave either 5 or 6 stars, and they will help me to pull me out of a slump because they're a favorite. This one actually should be marked as red as well. Okay, so that's what I do there. And so these are all just my red books. Now, of course, I will go back. What in the world? Okay, of course, I will go back occasionally and reread these books, but probably what will happen is they will sit in the red collection until the end of the year. This is what I did last year. They sat in my red collection until the end of the year, and then they got filed back into their respective places because they've already been logged as books that I've read somewhere, right? So they can get redistributed. Now I do leave like a little red tag, but they do get redistributed and I can reread them if I choose. The next one I have is retellings. These are any books, as you can see, never is in here, even though it's also in the DNF. But these are any books that are retellings, or if I know for a fact that they are inspired by a certain thing. So these Violent Delights, that duet is a retelling or an inspiration of Romeo and Juliet. Never is a retelling of Peter Pan. And then the Bonded by Thorns books, which the 4th one just came out today, so I need to actually get that book. But the Bonded by Thorns books are Beauty and the Beast. So that is what that is. Then we have my general romance. So these are romance books that I don't know quite where they fit. I have dark romance collections and things like that as well, but this is romance where I don't necessarily have a spot that they fit. They're just romance books. They're very like generic, I guess, romance books. Then we have my, where are we at? Where we have the age gap romance. So Birthday Girl by Penelope Douglas is an age gap. We have Billionaire Romance. This is where all of my Magnolia Parks books live. And also the free terms and conditions. I think it was like a bonus epilogue or something. Those all live there. Then we have Cowboy Romance, which I only own 1 book, which is Knotted. It was not that great. I gave it 2 stars. Then we have my Dark Romance collection. This is where they live, okay? Dark Romance all lives in here. And this is like super tame Dark Romance, such as, I don't actually know, Priest, which to me is relatively tame, all the way to like, or Neon Gods, that one was pretty tame as well, all the way to like really dark, which would be like Butcher and Blackbird was pretty dark for like a normal person. That's where that lives. Then we have the Friends to Lovers trope for romance. I did this because I didn't know where the Addicted Calloway series should go, and so I made it its own thing. Now I do have other books that would fall into this category, but they can also be sorted into other categories. So there's that. So that's why that's there. So those are the addicted books. Then we have a good healthy collection of hockey romance, which hockey romance got its own thing. I also have a sports romance collection, which is for every other sport, but hockey romance has been a huge kick for me this year, so it got its own collection. We have paranormal romance. This can be anything, witches, monsters, whatever, paranormal. Then we have single dad romance. We have sports romance. Nothing is in my samples, but I do have a sample collection in case I do have samples, because sometimes I do download samples of books if I'm not sure if I want to buy them or not. And then if I buy the book or I decide I'm not going to buy it, then I delete it, which is why there's nothing in the samples. Then we get into this collection. So I make a new TBR collection every single year. This is the easiest, or every single month, not year, every single month. This is the easiest way for me to know what I'm reading. So I play my TBR game, and then anything that I have that is on my Kindle, I put in here. So we have my Clarity, which I'm actually going to remove because, or I'm not going to remove it. I reset my TBR every month, but I leave them in here if they are Kindle books, if they are books that I do have on my Kindle. So we have My Clarity, we have Ripper County, we have that Sick Love, which I'm reading right now, Love in the Time of Serial Killers, The Little Girl I Always Wanted, Trouble for My Troll, House of Bane and Blood, Electric Idol, The Unmaking of June Farrow, God of Malice, Powerless and Powerful, Role-Playing Queen of Shadows, Hot Hex Boyfriend. And then here I always just throw in a Kindle screensaver, a Kindle lock screen in case, usually it switches out. I switch them out every month, but I just throw it in there so that I have one that's easy to grab if I decide that I want to use that. So I remake my TBR collection every month. And then what happens is that these books that are in here stay in their main collection because I just delete this at the end of the month and make a new one. So that's all we're doing there. Then we get into the Stuff Your Kindle Day books. So we have Stuff Your Kindle Day, and this category is smut. This category had no category. Basically, anything that is smut goes in here. So these are all like adult films in a book. That's like the only way that I can describe these. If you understand, I'm trying to censor myself for the YouTube gods, but these are basically just adult entertainment in a book, adult movies in a book. So this one was Kate's Crew, and this was the first Power Tools book. And then I also have The Handyman, Her Three Bosses, and Taken by the Grump. These are literally like, if you watched an adult film, that's what these would be. They're just, you know, that's all they are. Then we have Slump Busters. These are any books that I read and loved and enjoyed that I know that if I'm in a slump, I can reread these and they will bring me out of a slump. This is just straight smut. But these are ones that I do own and not necessarily Stuff Your Kindle Days. This is Stuff Your Kindle Day LGBTQ. I put gay, I think, because in this collection specifically, this one is just, the only one I have in here is male. But I think I made a collection that was LGBTQ. I did, that was romance specifically. But I think at the time this was the only one I had, so it went into that category. Then we have Stuff Your Kindle Day Aliens, Stuff Your Kindle Day BIPOC Romance. So this is just so that it's easy for me to find anything that is either has BIPOC characters or is written by a BIPOC author. It just depends on what I'm looking for. Most of these have BIPOC characters but are also written by BIPOC authors. But they're from Stuff Your Kindle Day. Then we have Stuff Your Kindle Day YA, which I only have one YA romance book in this category, but that's what that is. We have Stuff Your Kindle Day Christmas. This is just so that it's easy for me to find. I do sort by holidays because I really only read Christmas books at Christmas time. I don't read them any other time of the year usually, unless I'm doing like a Christmas in July event or something like that. Then we have the Stuff Your Kindle Day Cozy Mysteries, Stuff Your Kindle Day Crime, which I have no idea what this book even is, but that's fine. We have Stuff Your Kindle Day Dark Romance, which we have a lot of in here. I really do jump on Stuff Your Kindle Day Dark Romance. And then we have Dragons for Stuff Your Kindle Day, Stuff Your Kindle Day Fantasy Romance, Stuff Your Kindle Day Fantasy. So these ones are more like fantasy heavy as opposed to romance heavy, which is why it has its own category. We have Stuff Your Kindle Day Fantasy Smut. So this can be anything. This is like, I have aliens in here, I have shifters, I have fae, I have orcs in here. So this is just anything that I was like, I don't really know where else this would go, because it's not, these are not necessarily dark books. A lot of these are actually what would be considered like contemporary romance, but they have non-human characters in them. Then we have my Halloween books here. Stuff Your Kindle Day Hockey, Stuff Your Kindle Day Mysteries, Stuff Your Kindle Day Paranormal. I get a lot of Stuff Your Kindle Day books. Stuff Your Kindle Day Retellings. So these are any retellings, kind of like my other collection. They're just ones that I got for free. These are Stuff Your Kindle Day romance. These are just books that are contemporary romance. They could have spice in them, like the Roommate Risk has spice in it, but I got it for free, so it's in this category. But some of these are closed door. Like, I believe these ones here are all closed door romances, and some of them are not. It just sort of depends, but it's easy to find if I need to find them. Then we have Stuff Your Kindle Day LGBTQIA plus romance. We have Stuff Your Kindle Day series. This is the only series I have that was Stuff Your Kindle Day, but you could get all 4 books, so it got its own category. Stuff Your Kindle Day sports. So this is any sport except hockey. Hockey always gets its own sport, like its own collection, but I think that's just because I love hockey romance. The rest of these are like, looks like I've got a couple of football. We've got like a snowboarding one, a skiing one. So that's what that is. And some of these you can find like the rest of the series on Kindle Unlimited. These were just the free ones that they were giving us. Then we have Stuff Your Kindle Day thrillers, which are all the thrillers that I got from that. Then we have just a regular thriller collection. So these are all ones that I've purchased at some point. So we have like There He Kept Her, which I actually got in his ARC and then I bought it. Then we have Small Gods, which that's an ARC version of that. Like Small Gods, The Dollhouse, The Mercy, Veronique was a short story that went with the rest. And then Two Lies and a Truth. I'm sorry, those were all like ARC copies, but they were like the first ARC copies I ever got. So that's what those are. Even though I don't think Safe Haven is a thriller. I'm pretty sure Safe Haven is a romance, but that's fine. Then we have my true crime collection. This is nonfiction, but I give the true crime its own genre because when I think nonfiction, I think of either self-help or memoirs, and these are specifically true crime books, but they will go on my nonfiction wheel. Yeah. Then we have this collection, which is unknown genre. This was what I didn't know where to put things. I didn't know where to put them, so they went into this collection. What in the world? Why is it not? Oops. Okay. Let me close that and open it back up because it's... Kindle app is being really weird, and we'll scroll back down. Here we go. So then we have witchy books. These are books I'm not sure where I got them from. Oh no, this was a collection that I made specifically for Mystic Readathon, which is this month when I'm filming this. This I made specifically for Mystic Readathon. That way I knew where all my witch books were for easy access, and it's really worked well for me because I've been able to just grab books out of here to read. Then we have YA contemporary. So this can be romance or whatever it is, because like The Hate List is just a contemporary book. Fault in Our Stars would be a romance, and then the Sister of the Traveling Pants books are also contemporary, but those are YA contemporary. We have YA dystopian, which the only ones I really have are the Hunger Games books. Then we have YA fantasy, which I have quite a bit of here. So we have like Divine Rivals. We have the Caraval series, Lies of Locke Lamara, Nevermore, Legendborn, all of those. We have YA romance, which these are any books. Obviously, these can be moved, but these are books specifically that were marked as YA romance on Amazon. So if I read them and I figure out that they are not YA romance, I will move them to where they go. Then we have YA thrillers, which a lot of these I've had for years, but we also have like the Inheritance Games, the Naturals, and then the Naturals collection. So we have a bunch of those in here. And that is it. That's it, that's all. So those are how I sort out collections. And yeah, that's how I sort my collections. It's the easiest way for me to find collections, to be honest. But since we're here, we're also going to go through the books that I have in my Kindle Unlimited collection. Just because a lot of people wanted to know what I have in here. So I don't think I have 20 books checked out. It says 21. I don't know how that's even a possibility because you can only check out 20 at a time unless... Belladonna may be one that I don't actually have checked out on Kindle Unlimited. I don't know. I'm confused by this. But that's fine. So we have Binding 13 by Chloe Walsh. This is the first in a series. It's a lacrosse, rugby romance, I believe. Rugby. So that is a whole series. We have Pucked, which is another book in a series of hockey romances. Break the Girl is a dark hockey romance. That Sick Love is a dark stalker romance with some, which actually a lot of religious undertyings to that. Skin of a Sinner is a dark romance. I believe it's also a stalker romance. Twisted Game, dark romance. Heartless Hunter is a dark romantic fantasy book with a witch and a witch hunter. The Veiled Kingdom is it romantasy? I think this one is considered romantasy. Love Unwritten is a dad and nanny romance. The Cruel Prince is fantasy, YA fantasy. When the Moon Hatched is romantasy. One Dark Window is fantasy, but I don't know if there's romance to it. I'm gonna be honest, I don't know that much about that one. A Love Letter to Whiskey is a dark romance. House of Bane and Blood is a dark fantasy romance. A Tempest of Tea. I think this one is fantasy. But I'm not sure, actually, now that I'm thinking of it. I know it has romance in it. I think this is a fantasy book because it's written by the same author as We Hunt the Flame, which is a fantasy. Yeah, this is a fantasy with romance and revenge, apparently, so that's cool. Trouble for My Troll is a monster romance. God of Malice is dark romance. Her Soul to Take is dark romance. Cloak of the Vampire is a dark romantasy. The Wren in the Holly Library is a dark romantasy retelling of Beauty and the Beast. And Belladonna is a YA fantasy. So that is what is on my Kindle Unlimited currently. And then, of course, we've gone through how my collections are made. I do set up collections either with my phone or with my iPad because you can move multiple books at a time. I do not use my Kindle device for that. So if you have any questions, leave them down in the comments below and I will get to them or answer them as best I can. And if I can't answer them, then I'll direct you to somebody that can. Let me know if you use collections in your Kindle. I will make sure to link somewhere on the screen the Kindle collection video that I have that's longer. I have one that's like 15 minutes and one that's like 4. I will try to find the one that is 15 minutes that really walks you through how to sort your books into collections, how to make collections, all of that, so that you can watch that if you have questions on actually how to sort books into collections. Again, I do it either on my phone or on my iPad just because it's easier. And I will see y'all in the next one. All of the links are down below. Patreon, Amazon wish lists, all the things that you may need are all down there. Along with this month it's Mystic Readathon, but any of my friends that are participating in readathons that I am also participating in. And I will see y'all in the next one. Bye.